guys want me to come up with something on my own?
You can do whatever you want, Coach.
Okay, let me get up and leave before I have to face any of this. You know, I was scared might be the right word of this game. We're not as good as we've been the last several years. The last 2 years that we've played against VCU, we've at least made games out of those 2 games for 30-plus minutes both times, and we're just not as good. And this is not meant to be an excuse, but it's true that we're not going to be as good without Craig Bradshaw in the game. He's the one guy on our team that can be a real sort of X factor, a kind of guy that can be hard to guard and it can make people rotate and either get better looks himself or get us better looks because people have to help on him. And that's not the total answer, and it's certainly not the total reason that we didn't play very well. I did think the first half that we, in a lot of ways, defended good enough to be in the game. I think they ended up with 34 points. I could live with that all day long, especially when you talk about the quick turnover points they got, which was probably somewhere 6 or 8 in the first half at least. And so in half-court defense, I thought we did a lot of good things. We just don't really have anybody offensively that can make a team as athletic and good and long and everything as VCU. Have to scramble around and guard different people. In other words, they can pretty much say, I'm going to guard you, and 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 get us stopped. And on top of that, when you don't happen to make the good looks that you get, then all of a sudden you look up and you're down. But I was hoping that we could take it from 13 and go in the correct direction for us, and we didn't. And really disappointed overall in our defensive effort, execution, scouting report stuff that we didn't do well in the second half. It looked to me like we got totally on our heels and just reacted to everything VC was doing. Didn't know who we were guarding sometimes. Gave up easy drives, dump-offs, dunks, layups, wide-open threes. It was a really I'm sure, I hope from Shaka's point of view, he thought it was a good offensive half, but it certainly wasn't a good defensive half by us.
So you just put all of us out of business with that. That was great.
Was it? My dad was a sports writer, so I can kind of.
When you say you were kind of scared of this game, when they played Villanova and when they played Virginia, they got kind of slammed. And then they had a week off, breaks, and for exams and stuff, and came out against Northern Iowa. When you saw that film, did they look more like the VCU?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I like to watch I like to watch games where they're playing people that are more like us. I mean, you're talking about Villanova and Virginia. You're talking about maybe 2 top 5 teams in the country, and we're not remotely close to that, but Toledo is a little bit more, and so we're closer to folks like that. We're not near as good as Northern Iowa, but that was a great game and 2 really good teams, and I really do think that this team's got a chance to be in there as good as any that he's had. So I know he's trying to get some young guys in there, and we all understand as coaches that they don't understand everything we're trying to do, and he's got some guys making some mistakes, and it's hard to trust freshmen sometimes when you've got an upperclassman that can be in there, but you know you need to get those good freshmen in there. You know you need to get them minutes, and I think that's a little bit where he is with some of his younger guys. They're talented, but they're going to make more mistakes because they don't understand the whole system like the upperclassmen do. And even a less talented guy is going to go out there and do what VCU is supposed to do because he's done it for 2 or 3 years. But I do think that this team has a chance to be right in there with the best that they have. They've got a lot of pieces, and you know what? I totally admire this program and the kind of guy that Shaka is, and how hard his kids play. I told him before the game, you know, we've won our share of big games on the road against good teams over the years. The truth is, a lot of times we caught them not quite as ready to play Belmont as they would have been to play somebody else. You don't catch VCU like that. you don't catch them not ready to play, and that's about as good a compliment as I could pay any coach in any program. They play hard and with passion every night, and you know you're not going to get them because they weren't ready. A lot of teams, big win, double overtime, worn out. This would be a good time to play somebody, you know, and I didn't even half hope that they would not be ready to play tonight.
When you guys are missing Craig and you come out and Taylor can shoot it pretty well and misses a couple of early shots, does the pressure mount on the shooters to kind of fill that void at that point?
You know, you'd have to ask players. You know what, the guys are coming at you awful fast with awful long arms and good jumping ability, and all it takes is just a little bit of hurried up to make you go from a 45% three-point shooter to a 28% three-point shooter, and I think that was a lot of it. You know, I think anybody that plays VCU hopes to catch them in the spot between their press when they run and jump, and they're trying to scramble around and get somebody picked up. That's what we hoped we could do more of. They do that awfully good, and they're flying out of their guys. And we just, you know, we did. If we were going to win this game or make it a game, we were going to have a really good three-point shooting night. And 8 for 29 is not really good. 15 for 29 is really good, and that's 21 more points. Now we're talking about maybe we've got a basketball game, but that's what we were going to have to do. 17 turnovers. I wish I could say we averaged 11 or 12, but we averaged about 17. So to do that at VCU is not something that killed us. The times we made mistakes in the press were scouting report not doing what we were supposed to do kind of mistakes, and gave them easier chances to get turnovers.
Coach, I don't know what you saw on film of Justin Tillman, but what were your impressions of him?
Yeah, I did. I did see him a lot, and he's really active. I love how I showed one clip today about how the ball went up and he stuck his man and drove him out, and it was a layup, and VCU's probably supposed to make it, but he didn't assume he was going to make it, and he got the spot and he got the rebound and put it right back in. And he looks like his instincts are good. He looks like he's you know, you like to see guys that know how to do that without even being taught. I mean, we've all got guys who would show them that, tell them they need to do it, and they never do it like that guy. That shows me he's got a lot of basketball IQ, whatever you want to call it, savvy. He's an awfully nice player.